Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. You want to get extra bigger? I think people will join and then, yeah, well, people will join and then it'll go. What's up? I'm James. Yeah, it's not on that beach. Yeah, of course, I've been meaning to come see their. Glad you finally made it. Yeah, I was talking to Sean, I guess our companies. Yeah. Yes, my apartment is on Main Street. I've been actually it's in a bar. The first Sunset Park for 10 years. No, it's not really. Oh, that's awesome.
It was not a training, you never heard of it. It's supposed to be married, and I'm sure, when anybody spread randomly. Always so many.
Okay, sure.
Randomly.
Got it, we promised us there's.
They do it about it. Randomly, please, they're not- things, all right, first one. Isabel's a sense. So, no, she was only there, she didn't grow up. She grew up. She was He's right.
Jerry Rubin.
I don't know. She Right along, I gotta get this out. That was like the journey.
All right.
The trouble is on this bad journey and so we got to deal with it. And that's what I think. That's how you guys need to. Marjorie is the so, yeah, I'm doing that. She, she said that I was wrong. She did a little bit. It's not fair. Just one line, that's not fair. She was here.
Are you guys doing it? That's great. I actually came from us on first. Yeah, literally starting. Unless you got other I also
I could probably not sit here. Is that what you mean? It'll do that part of it, but I don't know. Sometimes I like share stuff. I can sit with everybody else. Maybe I'll do that. That's a good idea. Are you saying is it gonna be you the whole time? It's auto, so like I don't, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, look at me, it's got me eating my Dominoes. I worked with them there,
And the number of days later, so we're there with the outline. For 3 years. They were like, hey, you still have this money.
well, I just think that they can really create a study and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a house. All right. We'll get,
You wanna? Yeah, I just got my car. I got the. Yeah, so, yeah, yeah, we'll do like 75. All right, guys, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. No one's gonna look at that. But thank you. All right.
We're checking out.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. If I haven't met any of you, I'm Robbie. I'll try to keep us on track timing wise for the evening. Very glad that you joined us this evening. I think one thing that people did like last month that we did was at the beginning here, we went ahead and opened it up if there was anyone new that briefly wanted to introduce themselves and kind of mention their connection to the neighborhood. You're more than welcome to do that. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but just looking around the room, is there anyone that wants to say hello? Yeah.
How's everybody doing? My name is Tracy McCormick. I have been a resident in Ocean Park for about 4 months now. But I'm not coming from very far, I'm coming from Sunset Park, so I was previously on Ocean Park in 28th Street. Love Ocean Park, obviously, so dreamed of moving here, made it happen for myself. I also work in the area. I work at Gerber Kawasaki, which is a wealth management firm. Just moved to our headquarters, actually, if you're familiar with the Edgemar complex, the old theater that was in there. We recently renovated that into a new corporate office. Very cool, very beautiful. Come check it out anytime if you're interested in seeing it. We also have the former Buffalo Exchange too, so that front area and the old theater. Come check it out if you're ever interested, but great to meet you guys, very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm also a gold member,
Yes. They sure are.
Very generous.
Yeah.
Great to have you here, Chase. Thanks. Anybody else want to say hello? Okay. Go once, not twice. Alright. Anyway, yeah, we'll get into it. I did just get an email from the police department. They got tied up, and so Isabel mentioned that she was gonna, hopefully not. That she was gonna send out the crime stats, and then we can pass those along. I don't know, do we have, there's Kathy, so I'm gonna turn it over to the fire department here. Kathy, can you hear us?
Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to come out and talk to you a little bit about reminding everybody to please have, if you don't have smoke alarms, please get them. We had a 2-person fatality fire earlier, a couple days ago, and I'm not, the investigation is still, ongoing. But I do want to just remind everybody to take those extra precautions. I know sometimes it's annoying when you haven't like tested your battery or exchanged it, but it's really a life-saving tool that you can use in all of your homes. So I just wanted to start off with that. We have been seeing a lot of fires happening up in Northern California and all around. It is fire season. We have Team 7, which is run by one of our deputy Chief Clemo, is running that. And he's been up at Spokane, Washington, kind of helping with the team. We also have 2 other teams that, our members are on that are out supporting other fires with Team 5 and also with Team 2. Our REMS team is also out with Culver City, helping to support some of those wildfires. And, that's pretty much what's going on with us right now. We don't have any, the summertime is happening. There's a lot of heat, make sure you're staying hydrated and taking your water out with you when you go out, you know, and that you're wearing hats and things like that. So I kind of wanted to remind everyone of that. And also the summer grilling, you know, start looking for ways to like not have fires start at your home. And one of those is like keeping your grills clean now that we're grilling more in the summertime. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. But I did want to just kind of come back on here and also really bring up the smoke alarm thing again, because I think that's really, really important.
Great. Anybody have questions for Kathy?
If you,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you need smoke alarms, how do we get in contact with you?
So through Community Connect, if you're signed up for Community Connect, you can request them directly through the app, and we'll get you in contact with the American Red Cross. So that's one easy way to do it. I encourage everybody to sign up for Community Connect if you haven't done so already. And if but pretty much we have a contact with the American Red Cross, and I can send that information over to you. I'll put my email in the chat if you want to share it with the group. That'd be great.
And not putting you on the spot, if you don't know anything, it's okay. But I saw there was a fire in Noma, might have been last evening or something. Do you know many details about that or?
Yeah, so that was the one that I just brought up. You're talking about the two people that passed away in
Yeah,
there?
missed
Yeah,
it.
so
Sorry.
it's still under investigation. That's why I'm really encouraging everybody. It happened in the middle of the night. So if there was some smoke alarms going
Okay,
off, things like that, you know, that wakes you up. If you're deaf or hard of hearing, there's different types of smoke alarms that you can use for that. And then there's strobing ones as well. So there's different types of smoke alarms that you can get depending on what you need.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one more.
Yeah, okay, so according to the code, you're supposed to have a carbon monoxide smoke alarm in the hallway. And then you're supposed to have smoke alarm in the bedroom.
I'm sorry, something about carbon monoxide alarms according to code. Is that what I heard?
You're supposed to have the smoke, carbon monoxide smoke alarm in the hallway, and then have have a smoke alarm in each bedroom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you can send me that question, because I'm not a code enforcement officer. So I don't know the code, but I can get that answered over to you if you want to shoot me an email.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, you should have smoke. There are also carbon monoxide detectors as well. I'm pretty sure. But let me get, if you're asking about the actual code, then I need to get that answer for you.
Okay, well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Kathy.
no problem.
Appreciate you dropping in.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
You.
All right. So next on our agenda here, I'm gonna fix that, but I was gonna invite both Hunter and Carla to chime in a little bit about kind of what's coming up on the Main Street Farmers Market. We're getting closer here. If anyone didn't know, the date is August 23rd. Carla gave me this awesome flyer that they're gonna start getting the word out on. So I don't know, Carla, do you want to start and just any other details that have come together since last time?
No, not really. We're pretty much, kind of coming in on getting everything together. I've been working with Peter's friend to, just finalize some things and make sure that we've checked all the boxes and, yeah, it's gonna be super fun. He's planning on doing a mocktail, farm to glass cafe, which will be with fruits from the farmers in the farmers market. So I'm connecting him with some of the farmers and he'll do like maybe a cocktail in the afternoon with Dancing Crow and some of their wines. So it'll be super fun just to have that kind of, I know we want to do more of a farm to table experience, but it'll be kind of like a nice little splash to start with.
And just make sure everyone understands what you're saying.
Yeah.
What exactly?
Here,
Oh, with the farmer's market.
Explain.
I thought you all knew,
August
right?
20. What did
Yeah,
you do?
August
Explain.
23rd, we moved the farmer's market into the street and it becomes this big event. And that's the Sunday, fun day kind of thing that's happening.
Yeah, you're glancing over the fact that you got, look, she's got an awesome chart where everything's mapped out. She's been doing a ton of work. I think it's gonna be awesome, so. Make sure you wander down to Main Street on the 23rd.
what street is it on Main? Like
Uh,
from what corner, from? just
Hill
one
and
block,
Ocean Park.
One block.
Yeah, it's just a pilot, so that's where we're at. Question?
Regular hours.
Yeah, regular hours for the farmer's.
Big farmers market, the
And
big states, yeah.
Yeah, then there'll be, yeah, hopefully, we're,
We gonna be closed the whole day?
No.
no. Still
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, good chunk of the day.
6 AM to 4 PM.
Come on up, or,
No, I'll just add something.
okay, yeah,
So
and introduce yourself as well, please.
I'm Hunter from Main Street. I think most of you know me. Hi. Hey. I was at home for a couple weeks, so I'm just getting shit back
Yeah,
yesterday.
really.
You come up, right? You wanna look at here?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Well,
I'm fine.
it's a meeting.
Nobody wants to look at me.
I was outside for 3 weeks, so I'm like, I'm really bad at handling. Anyway, so this is awesome. So, Carla's been doing a lot of work on this. This will be great. We're really excited. There's a new business opening on, actually tomorrow. It's the Macaretta Bar Restaurant, which is that new building. I just toured it. It looks great. It's an awesome space. It's gonna be really good. You know, hopefully with the street closed from Ocean Park to Hill, it will be a really awesome, you know, tester. And then, do we have an updated date on when the Victorian is actually? No, not yet, okay. So the reason we're doing this tester, of course, as some of you know, is the Victorian is doing extensive renovations, which will, you know, necessitate moving the whole farmer's market into Main Street on a more permanent basis, which I think is rad. We've been kind of wanting to do something like that for years, and this is a perfect opportunity. So whenever that does eventually happen, it'll be awesome, and hopefully we can activate our entertainment zone to dovetail with that. That'll be great, and it'll bring more just kind of like weekly lively activations. And Peter Trin, if you don't know him, he does a lot of events around town. He's
I have never seen him before in my life.
He's a wonderful guy. He knows all the ins and outs of the city. He does great events, and he's like pretty much the only person I would feel comfortable doing something like this and partnering with. So we have a lot of confidence that it will go very well. Yeah, I don't know what other Main Street gossip I got.
Well, what about the opening tomorrow of, met her at the bar, I heard, do you know
Yeah,
if there's a ribbon cutting or?
there's a ribbon cutting at 4 PM on Thursday. The Chamber of Commerce is doing. They're doing a soft opening tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, just to like, you know, see, I
Okay.
probably shouldn't have even told you all that.
I was telling her today, and she
Okay.
told me, but she didn't tell me everything.
Yeah, they don't want a gang of people coming in there, so if you happen to trickle in, that's fine, but don't all rush them tomorrow and say the Hunter told you.
8 AM.
Yeah, 8 AM. That's kind of the big thing happening this week.
Okay.
I don't know, any other Main Street gossip you all want to know about? Going once, going twice, no? Okay, easy.
What's your position?
Sorry, what?
What is your position?
I'm the rodeo clown.
Yeah.
I'm the executive director.
That was a
of
job
Main Street for Kid. Huh?
That was a job description.
It was.
Job title.
I know, right? Yeah.
Just a quick question about the space on, Main and Ashland.
Yeah,
I know that I see them once in a while and they're revamping it.
right. What's your question?
Just, is there an update on when that will open or?
No, they're probably stuck in permitting limbo like everyone else, but it is coming along. I do know that building was in poor condition prior to it being purchased, so you know, there's a lot of stuff to do. I don't have an update. I don't know, Sean, what you have any? No, okay. Yeah,
Can you say anything about, Pier in Maine? You
about
know,
what?
Pier in Maine building, O'Brien's, is it so the new one?
Oh,
And what we can offer, you know, I mean, the bank's doing a good job, but now
yeah,
really going downhill fast.
I got nothing. I don't know anything about that building, to be honest. I wish I
Some
did.
the Restaurant was going in there,
Yeah, it has some weird thing to do, I believe, with the way the CUP is, because there's technically two buildings.
Yeah.
There's like that, and maybe even three, because there's like a one building, second building, and there's like this back thing, the parking lot. I don't really know, to be honest, sorry.
But it's only in the kind of, in the trash.
It's an eyesore, I will give you that, I wish I could wave a magic wand, but sadly I lack that.
Any word about the repairs, this trouble?
Yeah, it's coming along. That'll open later, well, either late this year or early next year.
Is it branded?
Is it what?
Is it branded?
What do you mean is the brand
It's
is
called?
yeah, it's called, oh God.
It's a crazy.
It's what, somebody said it? No, it was,
It's a funky name though.
it's really cool.
Meet me somewhere.
No, it's something like, oh, I know what it is. It's called Wolf, like
Oh, Wolf Experience.
Wolf the Momentary. Yeah. It will be fantastic. It will be really cool. The guy who owns the building and the property, is not poor. And he is sparing no expense with what it'll be. It'll be very whimsical and like an awesome avant-garde, dinner, nightlife theater sort of thing. It'll be world class. Yeah, it'll be like truly world class. And we're lucky to have him. So I'm really excited about it. For sure.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Hunter. He kind of glanced over, but he leads the business improvement district on Main Street, and he does frequent our meetings, so that's the role that he plays, is he's
Thank you.
working with these merchants on a regular basis to continue to, I mean, he does a lot of things, good. So
All trades.
thank you. But anyway, oh yeah, Judy.
I just want to say that for a gazillion years, I've been the community representative who goes to all the board meetings.
Never missed one.
Right, hardly ever. So, if anybody wants me to know something to take to a board meeting, tell me.
Great idea.
So Mark, one thing for you, why don't you just tell the city that place is a nuisance?
I have.
They didn't do anything?
You try code enforcement, sorry. I don't pull back code enforcement. I got back saying, yes, we got your notice, thank you very much, we'll get to it. It's not trash on, it's just, homeless and.
All right, so the next thing on our agenda, last month we had a state senator that joined us, state senator candidate that joined us, introduced himself. We have another one in attendance here tonight. And wanted to give him about 5 minutes here. Come on up and let everyone know who you are.
Sure. Where can the folks digitally? see
Right
me?
there, this thing's amazing. It kind of does everything.
That's really cool. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody, thank you to Sean and Robbie for inviting me to join. See my pal Erica over there.
What's your name?
My name is Brian Goldsmith. I'm running for Ben Allen's seat in the state senate. For those of you who don't know, Ben is termed out. I'm not running against him. I had to clarify that with a few people. I'm running to succeed him. And the district is really vast. It goes from the top of the Conejo Valley to Torrance and Palos Verdes. It goes from, Malibu, Palisades, all the way east through every community, basically between the Santa Monica Mountains and Olympic through Hollywood. So you've got the heart of what used to be called, metaphorical Hollywood, the entertainment industry. You've got lots of miles of the most valuable coastline in America, and all sorts of issues and concerns of a million Californians. A little bit about me, and then I'll move to some of the priorities that I have in the campaign. I spent a lot of my career as a journalist. I worked at places like CNN, CBS News, The Atlantic. At CBS, I was the political producer of the evening news. Some of you folks who are older may remember the evening news. It's when we gathered the what happened that day, and we were looking for information rather than affirmation, as my old boss Katie Couric used to say. I left to go to law school, decided not to practice at a big law firm, but to start a small business. And had the wonderful and challenging and sometimes horrifying experience of operating a small business in the state of California. Through some, combination of skill and luck, I was able to grow that business a bit, sell the business, went back into media to cover the 2016 presidential campaign. Some of you may recall that horror show. And I was so appalled by, the first Trump administration that I left covering politics to go work in politics, to confront MAGA for Democratic candidates around the country, starting with Pete Buttigieg for president. Pete has been my friend since we went to college together 25 years ago. And then for Democratic candidates for Congress, which is how I got to know Speaker Pelosi, and really honored that she's supporting me in this campaign. Senator Boxer, who's my campaign chair, as well as a lot of the local leaders. What I'm really focused on is the inflection point we're at right now in California. We're going to have a new governor, we're going to have a lot of new legislators, and we're going to have some big festering problems that we have to deal with. First and foremost, I think, is the affordability challenge that so many of us face. And if we don't face it, our kids or our grandkids are facing it. My family came to California in the 1950s when, if you worked hard and you built a middle-class life, you could buy a home. You could send your kids to an excellent public school, no matter what zip code you lived in. And you could hope for an even better life for future generations. Now, of course, there were some other problems in the 1950s. That middle class dream was not open to everybody. But in the 80s and 90s, when I was growing up in this district, I had a lot of friends who were doctors and nurses and lawyers and school principals, and they could afford to, to hope to buy a home in places like Santa Monica. And increasingly that is no longer possible. Another thing I'm focused on in this campaign is what we can do as a state to deal with the threat of a federal government that is weaponized against us in a completely unprecedented way. We've had a lot of Republican presidents in the past. We've never had one who directed every tool of federal power to hurt our state and our people, our medical research, our universities, our environmental coastal protections. This morning I was in Santa Monica at an event with a lot of environmental leaders to say that our coastline is not for sale, that they can't overturn California's coastal protections to drill for oil, to do deep sea mining, to basically destroy not just the economic engine of this region, but the reason that, so many people dream about California, love to come to California, and love to live in California, as challenging as that is. The other thing I'm focused on is really making sure that our results and outcomes match our good intentions. I think for a long time in California, we've really measured success based on billions of dollars spent and number of bills signed in Sacramento. And we have not focused nearly enough on what are the results on the ground? What are our people actually experiencing? And so despite all of the good efforts of a lot of folks who have tried very hard to improve our public services, we face some really deep ongoing challenges, like, for example, our K-12 public education system, which is really excellent in Santa Monica, Malibu, but is not excellent throughout much of the state. In fact, I'm sure some of you have read the columns from Nick Kristof from the New York Times about how, in the aggregate, California public schools underperform Mississippi and Alabama, two of the poorest states, for third graders in reading and math. I'm sure all of us have experienced the flaws of our infrastructure. Despite record spending, too often we're driving on broken roads, walking on broken sidewalks, experiencing, and then the dog is experiencing experience like a mismatch between what we intend and what we're actually delivering. And I think one of the ways that hopefully my journalism background can be useful, my small business background can be useful, is I'm not just focused on putting out a press release about all the laws that I'm passing and all the money that I'm spending. One of the critical roles of the legislature is to ask the hard questions, to hold the administration accountable, even if it's a governor of the same party, for what, he agrees again, for what we're achieving in terms of results and outcomes. Scrutinizing the money that we're spending so that if a program is working, yeah, let's put more money behind it. But if something is failing, let's stop throwing good money after bad. I realize I'm not supposed to be going on and on. I just wanted to give a kind of a broad introduction, and I don't know if there are
Yeah, there's
time
a
for
question or two.
questions. Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions. Sir.
So we live in the coastal zone, and I have a friend that lives in the beach tract, which you're not familiar, it's just the kitty corner right around.
Yes.
They got their demolition permit in August 2023. Last week, they had their first hearing in front of the coastal commission. During that time period, the cost of construction has gone up about 40%. So what, we have this thing in town about SB 1740. It was a really interesting thing. So I was wondering if you could talk about how you could help our neighbors solve that time gap problem, permitting, and really what that means, because I think most of the delay was at the coastal commission.
Well, I think this is a critical problem, and I think there's a big difference between sort of two different schools of thought on zoning and permitting reform. One school of thought is, let's use this as a kind of Trojan horse to blow up local control and environmental protection. And so there are a lot of bills, I think, that have passed that are really much more about, builder's remedy, about Sacramento determining what can be built, where, and how. Those bills I have opposed, and that's a big difference between me and my opponent in this race. On the other hand, there are other bills that are much more reform-oriented, process-oriented, about because time is money, as you say, in construction, especially with the rising cost, as we've seen over the last few years. Let's see if we can streamline the process, reduce the delays and the paperwork and the going from this bureaucracy to that bureaucracy to get a permit and to get something done. Those kinds of reforms I do support. I believe in shot clocks. I believe in building into the building process something that I learned firsthand as a journalist, the most powerful mechanism for getting anything done, which is a deadline. If you don't have a deadline, things can just take forever. I mean, I've lived this as someone who, operated a small business with a limited budget, who, as a journalist had to get something on the air that night. And as a homeowner who was in the middle of a renovation that stretched out way beyond what was expected, both in terms of time and money. So I'm very sympathetic to those kinds of reforms. I think 1740 is kind of a moving target. Rick Zabur is, a dear friend and someone I talk to regularly. I think there were some problems with the original proposal. I don't know exactly where it stands right now. But if it's about streamlining and lowering the cost, I'm supportive. If it's a threat to, our ability to protect the coastal environment, then I'm a lot more skeptical.
So you'll be working hand in hand with Buffy Wicks.
Well, sometimes I support what Buffy's trying to do. Sometimes I oppose her, like on SB 79.
We have time, sorry, one last question. I think you were first, Jared.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I heard good things about you and,
I fooled another one.
no, as well as your opponent. I'd like to just know briefly, first of all, I don't know if Ben Allen's weighed in yet on this, but I'd like to know what would you say are the main differences between you and your opponent?
Well, I think that's a good question, and you'll get a completely unbiased answer. So I've gotten to know Ben. I knew him a little bit before the campaign. I've gotten to know him better over the course of the campaign. I'm very honored that in our party's endorsement process, Ben voted for me for this job. And he knew that vote would be public and honored to have that support from him. Whether he comes out with a public endorsement is up to him, but that's where he has been. And I often will go to Ben for, advice on, somebody suggesting this to me. Has this come up before? Has it worked in the past? What can we try? I think there are a couple of differences that are worth knowing about. One is, my opponent comes from a background of serving in local government, which is an experience that I respect. But that is a background that is extraordinarily well represented in Sacramento right now. About 70% of the current state senate came to those jobs from local elected office. Again, not denigrating it, but I think there are other perspectives that are also very valuable. Being on the receiving end of all the rules and laws and bills that are passed in Sacramento, as somebody trying to operate a small business in this state, I think that's valuable background. Being a journalist, knowing how to ask hard questions, how to hold people in power accountable, I think that's valuable. And knowing what we're up against, because I worked on dozens of Democratic campaigns across the country, fighting against, Trump and MAGA, I think that's very valuable given what California is facing right now. And then we have different perspectives on some of the issues. I mean, this gentleman mentioned housing. I think we have to measure success based on the number of affordable and middle-class housing units we're building and making available to people. And despite all the laws that have passed over the last 10 years, that are kind of YIMBY bills, often blowing up local zoning and planning, the number of middle-class and affordable housing starts in our district has gone down, not up. So I don't view that as a roaring success. And I'm not an automatic yes vote for any housing bill that comes across. I assess each bill as it comes. I have the old-fashioned view that I should read the bill before providing an opinion on it, so I know what the heck I'm talking about. And I will stand up for what's right for this district. So my opponent supported SB 79 before it was even finalized. I said I would read it, I read it, and I decided it was wrong for the 24th district, and I opposed it. There are some other policy differences, but that's kind of the overview that I would provide. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. If you want to learn more, because I realize time is limited, our website is briangoldsmith.com, very original name. And my email is just brian@briangoldsmith2026.com. Don't ask me why we got the briangoldsmith.com for the website, but we had to do the 26 for the email, probably another California policy mistake. But feel free to email me as well. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you coming in, Brian. Thank you. So the next thing we have on our agenda from, she's a commissioner on the Rent Control Board here in Santa Monica. Erica Leslie, do you want to share a little bit about upcoming ballot measures?
Good evening, how you guys doing?
Hi.
I come through here often, just in case you guys have any questions. I've had the pleasure of being your Rent Control Board Commissioner since 2022, July 2022 till present. So I wanted to come through and explain a couple of 2 or 3 things, because we had some really hot button topics on our ballot measures that are coming up in November. And I apologize, we should have come through to each one of the neighborhood groups and did a little bit of a better job explaining things, so it'd be a little bit better received and people wouldn't be so confused. I think the first ballot measure that I need to address is the one where we have additional tenants added to the lease. That was not, the intention of that was not to have perpetual tenancy. I heard that verbiage mentioned in a lot of different places. That was not the intention. The intention is, if you think about it, what's going on in our country right now, we have a lot of people that are being subjugated to ICE raids. And so if the original leasee is gone, what happens to the remaining family members? I just want to put that in the forefront of your mind. So the commissioners got together, they came up with this ballot measure to actually protect some of our residents that were left behind, so they wouldn't be put out. Now, what our landlords kind of took that as was perpetual tenancy, and that they wouldn't be able to understand who all would be in their units. So I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication in the intentionality of that, and we couldn't necessarily convey that quick enough. So I wanted to let you guys know that first and foremost, but the language has been changed. We took some of that language out because they were also including cousins and in-laws and a few other people. So it's been cut down to basically just the spouse, the children, and that's about it. So, you know what I'm saying? But also, now for the second one, I want to also address as far as the tenant eviction protections for those that are in single family homes. So those that are in single family homes, what we've had is a lot of cases where people were evicting people for only occupancy. However, they weren't actually occupying those units or those homes. So now you have 60 days, this is what this ballot measure is for, 60 days to occupy that home. And you have to stay in it for at least 2 years. So that we prevent people from being evicted for just basically saying, just because I want to, and I just want to have my house clear so we can do something else with it. To protect tenants. Now, the third thing I'd like to address is the administrative issues that we have with our regional board. So currently, we cannot serve 2 terms, or, just 2 terms is a cap. Now we've extended it to the same as on city, we can serve 3 4-year terms. But also starting in 2028, the cap will be for the landlord fees will be $240. I'm sorry, it's 5% is the cap. But we still will go through the administrative yearly annual fee adjustment. So I just wanted everyone to realize and understand. Is there anything that I said that was not understood or you have questions about?
So didn't we vote for that yesterday at SMER?
We voted about it on SMER, but not everybody that's in this room was at SMER yesterday. Who was at SMER yesterday?
We approved it, right?
Yeah, we did approve it. So
I have a question.
Yes.
You told me that last thing you were talking about.
About the 5% cap.
Yeah, what is that?
So every year, we charge the landlords a registration fee. So the cap will be 5% at the maximum, starting 2028. So half of that is passed over to
5% of,
annually,
the rent.
consumer price index, inflation. So in other words, the reason why they went up to 5%, because a lot of landlords and people that are operating as a business say they can't afford the rent. Not the rent, insurance and operating
Oh,
costs.
so the rent can go up 5%.
No.
No.
No. This is passed over to the landlord. Now, the landlord passes half of that over to the tenants, but it's broken down into 12-month increments. So each month, see, it's $120, right? You break that down to 12 months, it's $10 a month. Okay, that you're being charged as a tenant.
This is the administrative fee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a separate question. What recourse do tenants have when the management company / owner does not provide the tax property bill in support of the rent increase?
Does not include what? Say that again?
You get the rent increase paper.
Mhm. Yes.
What the rent bill. And at the bottom it says the tax form must be provided that supports all those tax.
Contact the rent control board.
I did.
And what
Whether they couldn't do anything.
So you contacted our staff and nobody could help you. So what you do is also contact one of the commissioners as well. And I personally will make sure that you get an answer to your question. Okay? Erica.Leslie@SantaMonica.net. Okay? You got that? Any other questions?
You had mentioned there's something weird going on with Airbnb laws.
Coastal Commission, I don't know, bane of my existence. So Airbnb is operating illegal units within the Coastal Commission area. So right now, I've been kind of in the background, kind of work to make sure that we kind of lobby the Coastal Commission because it's cutting into our TOT transfer occupancy tax. For our hotels, it's also affecting our revenue with the hotels. So what we need to do is make sure that we rally the coastal commission to make sure that these illegal Airbnbs are not only charged, but also fined. So we generate more revenue for our city, because right now we need the revenue. We also need jobs for hotel workers, and we need our hotels filled. So our next coastal commission meeting is coming up relatively soon. I apologize, I didn't have it off the top of my head, I should have. That we all need to show up for a rally, because that's interfering with our business here in San Juan. Yes.
I think there was something about extending the 30-day benefits that the hotels, the occupancy tax longer because of all the big events that we're gonna be having in the city.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that because what's gonna end up happening, if we don't jump on this now, when the Olympics come,
Right.
we're really gonna have a big problem.
Right.
And we won't be able to get in control.
All right.
Yes, the nuclear, coastal commission's, jurisdiction ends at like Fourth Street, Lincoln.
So it actually is bizarre the way it runs. Doesn't run down Lincoln the whole way, right? It changes when it gets down there. Right. Yeah, if you're down here, it's like. Between Pico and Mary, it's like.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Very informative. Though.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, Erica. Okay, so in terms of speakers, those were really kind of the topics that we had today. So there are a couple of things board business related. Anybody that would want to be part of this conversation is welcome to be part of it. I guess maybe board members, if you want to raise your hand, this is also a good opportunity to share that, you know, at the end of the year, we'll be, you know, doing the annual ask for people to join the Ocean Park Association board. And you don't have to be a board member to start getting involved now, like we highly encourage it. And you're more than welcome to get involved on like a little bit more intensive basis, I guess, as a board member. We ask that board members join committees or task forces and kind of drive initiatives. It's all a volunteer-led organization, right? So all that said, I think we'll move into the board business. You got
I have a question.
Sure, yeah.
Before they didn't get a good answer for it.
Yeah.
They had the post thing or whatever it was we had on Main Street.
Okay.
Golden Voice. So my understanding is that they're gonna have a stage on the pier that's gonna face south. And then they're gonna have another stage someplace that's gonna face the ocean.
I've seen a map. So yeah, the tickets are on sale for the Ocean Way Festival. Check it
Yeah, but
out.
I'm trying to find out what the boundaries are, so I know where to avoid.
Oh, okay. It's all gonna be on the sand.
I know that, but what
Okay.
I'm trying to say is, my understanding is that the pier, on the pier, there'll be a stage. That'll be facing south,
Okay.
there will be another stage that'll be facing west someplace. And I've heard that it ends at Bay Street, the jurisdiction of us.
Okay.
I just was wondering if anybody could confirm that.
Does anybody know if that's accurate?
It's funny, I asked all these people from the city about this, nobody do anything.
Oh, yeah, there's like a venue map that's on their website. I mean, to sell tickets, but it does show you the streets. So I would go there, check it out. Yeah. Yep, everybody knows about the Ocean Way Festival coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like it could be cool. All right, so, oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot to add something. Right now, our city is only getting $150,000 a month from Airbnb. They have approximately 3,000 to 4,000 illegal units just within the coastal zone. So imagine how much revenue that would generate for our city. That's what I forgot to add. Sorry.
Great. All right, well, let's start, oh yeah, go ahead. Yep. Of course.
My name is Lucia Laskaskas. My husband and I, Stephen and I, live on Fraser Avenue. We've lived there since 1974, when POP was burning. And we have been variously involved and not involved. But one of the things that we on Fraser Avenue are experiencing, and not just on Fraser, but that whole beach tract, is in very much increased amplification system of the people that put down sound stages in front of us. People that, when we go down and say, could you lower the volume, say, we have a permit until 4 o'clock to play. It turns out that they don't. And it's continuing at a very increased rate. About 5 years ago, perhaps longer, I remember really working on this with the city and asking if they could take a look at the prohibition on amplification that the South Beach cities have and manage it. Because we don't have to invent America all over the people have done that. And there's a problem of enforcing. Part of it is technological, because the speakers now can be quite small. And not just the speakers, but people show up with microphones and blast out, including 11 o'clock at night when we have to call to see if anybody can do anything about it. So I'm wondering if that is a concern just for this small little area. We know that this ocean, that where the hill is,
The
other part
near the shores.
that used to have this huge problem, and people moved out of that building until they finally got prohibition on using that particular hill area. And we feel right now that that problem has gone north to our area. Because we do have a park, we do have parking, and we do have an area that is, we have alcohol being sold in both Perrys. And it's just completely out of control. Does anybody else care about this?
Yeah, it's a good question for the group, and then we might have someone that has had a similar situation, so yeah, if, has anybody gone through this process before? You had something you wanted to mention?
Process for what?
Oh, you missed,
Ed Perry's is what I heard.
oh, no, this, it's, let's start over here.
Well, my amplification, but I don't suppose the she does, but I walk on that green belt.
Okay.
And like, there's been times when it's been incredibly loud. You know, like sweaty up out, it's so loud.
Is
So-
there any recourse?
What's the issue?
And also, that this woman, she better be prepared for the 27th and this, whatever dates that is.
26th
There's a lot of
27th.
noise that week. Guaranteed.
Every day it starts.
No, but I'm saying, this is gonna be from that, music from the pier on that Golden Voice thing.
That one-time event, which is
No,
called
that's
Shell
right.
West,
And I'm just
for 2
wondering.
days. Oh, yes, we know that.
Okay,
But I'm concerned, not that has been.
no, I know what I'm talking about.
Et cetera. I'm not,
I walked by it.
Oh, she did.
I'm sorry. We are, we created the city, and the people that live there created that park the way it is. Argued about every tree that was put in, the vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. And instead of it being an area where the people that come to the beach can actually enjoy the beach and the sound of the ocean, or where we live, sandwiched in between Barnard Way and Nielsen Way, where we can also enjoy some quiet, maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's blasting from day to night. So there are rules about the use of parks and amplification, and not just people taking a guitar and playing it. But I am talking about stages set up, about it being also a commercial zone, as there are sale units set up. So that use of that public space denies the people on the beach the pleasure of going to the beach and hearing waves. On the other side, those of us that are sandwiched in between Barnard Way and Nielsen Way are also hearing continuous, never-ending groups of people whether they be playing, I don't care about what kind of music.
I do think that sorry to jump in here. I do think that they are trying to get like a plan around how the beach is utilized. And I don't know if sound is part of that, but because it's being proposed, that would probably be part of the process to voice this. And I do think it just got introduced, like it was like a week or two ago that I saw something. And then again, if anyone has been through a similar, exercise, then it would make sense to connect. John, you had something?
So what you're talking about, though, are two different things,
Okay,
right? So one is, with Perry's, that's all permitted from the city.
Yeah.
We also suffer from people just showing up with equipment, right?
Right.
And that is not permitted, and that is a different challenge, because those are the people that are really making all the noise. Perry's is, if you really pay attention, they're done an hour before sunset. So the speakers all face the other way. So as you try to address this, remember that there's two problems. Now, some of us believe that Perry should be doing more, because the challenge we face is economic development, right? And to support our businesses. So we would like to see more people at Perry's, right? Whatever that takes, so they can start to filter up the main street, start to shop in the businesses. So some of us are trying, and because it's Perry's, we think we can, there'll be constraints around what happens. So that's really what's going on. So
all right,
it's,
so
Yeah.
let's take that off the board. Let's not talk about Paris. Let's simply talk about the fact that amplification is horrendous at the park in that entire area.
So I live between Nielsen and Barnard Way. And I can't, I'm a pretty tolerant person. But I know the city has done a lot of things, right? One is, you have to think about the First Amendment. Second is, we've all tried to, freedom of whatever it is, speech. Not speech, but gather. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
The First Amendment for amplification.
They have a right to be there. So what I was gonna do was talk next and say that we've all tried to look at, the amount of noise, right? The sound levels to make sure it's not high. I mean, we cannot really figure out how to stop it other than, maybe with some of the old beach thugs that are still around. So that's what you're up against. So just so you know that, a lot of people have already tried to do that, right? And we haven't got too far. Because there's too many things, right? Freedom of expression, freedom of to assemble, that sort of, no, that's a big deal.
But something happened on the Hill Park between the shores and all of that was there has moved north. Because there can't be any amplification on that park that's between the shores. And what's the other?
So
Everything.
Just a few more minutes on this, guys.
So there's a difference in ownership too, right? So the park is city land, so that was Phil Brock that did that, right? And he got the council to approve that. When you cross the boardwalk, you're no longer on city land, right? It's like the parking lot's the county and the beach is the state, so it gets messy.
Go ahead.
So just think about those complexities as you try to work through this.
Last comment here on, go ahead.
Yeah, the amplification, electric amplification, I think that's what she's talking about. And as a beach, the general public's, whether they like it or not, are exposed to it because these people come down with electrics and they dominate the sound. We're not talking about Perry's.
No.
We're talking about these general people that come down with amps, electric amps. Now, the Twin Towers had the same problem, and the previous city council heard them and they made an ordinance. It's a law. They should have put it all over the beach, as far as I'm concerned, all over the parks, because it's a noise nuisance. I think people come down to the beach to relax. So what they need is another ordinance to
Okay.
cover at least the beach area and I would hope the park area. Now, there's two city council people that have been apprised of it. And they say they're well aware of it, but they haven't made an ordinance about it. That's what they need is an
Okay.
ordinance for that has to be put on the sign, park sign, so the public knows about it. Then the police have something
Okay.
to work on.
It sounds like you guys should chat and that.
Same issue.
Did you know that there were two city council members that were considering it? It sounds like.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's worth learning more and I don't know the specifics. If anybody else does, with
Thank you very
yeah.
much. Thank you for hearing this out.
Yep, total. All right, and okay, so executive board topics. Is there anybody from the executive board that wanted to call anything out?
What's the question?
We need to talk about anything on the website stuff.
Oh, yeah, I can give a quick update. So last month, we approved moving forward with basically like putting effort into fixing a problem that we've had for almost a year. And so far, things are progressing. I think next week we'll be in a place where we could sit down and Patty, you could get a sense of what things are looking like. And she's gonna be in Hawaii. That's right. Okay, well, let's wait a couple more weeks. Yeah, after it was 50 years. Is that what it was, Patty? Yeah, that's a round of applause. That's pretty okay. So we won't do it next week, but soon. Yeah, we're in a place. We think Beehive can do a lot of what we need, and I've set a pretty high bar to say we need Patty to be on board with everything that it's doing. So. Yep. But you're gonna be in such a good mood after Hawaii, right? So maybe it'll be perfect. Okay, so that's the update there. Yeah, I think that's that. Anything from the Main Street board other than what we heard earlier?
I think Hunter said it all.
Okay, that's great. One thing that I was gonna suggest, so this event is coming together with the farmers market. And I've been part of some of these phone calls. And what's clear to me is that there is an opportunity for this to become like a regular event that could be a pretty cool thing, I think, for Ocean Park. And tomorrow is the final call, like where different parties are getting together. And I don't know like what the specifics would be, but I guess I'm just giving people a heads up that maybe there would be an ask to financially contribute in some way to making this a success as a pilot event. And I don't know what the appetite for people supporting that would be. But I'm just putting that on the radar, I guess. What is clear is that the farmers market is doing kind of backflips to make this happen. The city has stepped up a lot of the work that has been done to say like, hey, when the community comes together, the city should be footing the bill in terms of the permitting fees and all these things. I think it's gone a long way, but there are like things that I never would have thought about, just giving you guys some of like the detail. There's these meridian barriers that you've maybe seen at some of the city events. To rent like a handful of them is thousands of dollars. And it's supposed to protect against, a car disrupting a community event, which is very important. But the price, we've been urging the city to acquire some because renting them just doesn't. Sean, what was it? It was like 3 times rent, using them pays for
Charging.
yeah. So anyway, I was just gonna say that, and I would think that it would be like like under $600, but I guess without many specifics, I know it's not like straightforward, but I think that this event could be pretty cool if on a weekly basis. If, has anybody been to, Smorgasbord? I can never say it. Okay. Okay, so we have a couple people that have popped by and it's just a big gathering event. And if it kind of became this farmer's market, go to the beach, Sunday fun day, regular thing, I think it could be a pretty cool like community event. That's what I think. Anybody questions or thoughts as to whether that's a good idea, bad idea? Okay, just go ahead.
I used to have a farmer's market in Sacramento and they actually started on one block and then like over the last like 8 years have now expanded like 6-7 blocks. It was amazing. It was like a mid event, like it was turned into like a party every Sunday.
Yeah.
But instead of, not all the streets had the barrier, like for those barriers, but they used food trucks to block.
I suggested that. I was like, can we use a bus?
So like maybe that's just an idea.
That's a great idea. I think we should honestly.
Here's paid for $5,600.
Wow.
So, and that's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead, you.
But I think, you're talking about moving, the farmer's market onto Main Street.
It's gonna happen for a pilot event on the 23rd.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think, of course, the big question is traffic. You're not gonna have, flow through traffic, so we go, as the last meeting, there were residents here say, hey, I don't want any traffic going through my neighborhood.
Right.
That's the issue, I think that's a big issue. So if you wanna, keep plowing through with this on Main Street, I think you also have to look at, fulfill the whole issue. Are there other options to put the farmer's market?
That's fair.
And I think last time somebody said they could put it out on the city parking lot or anywhere else in the city, like a park. There's lots of parks.
Okay.
And there's also one close by, right behind City Hall. Now they have, that, I forget what's called, the Ohlone Park. Malibu has something like that also. They have it in a adjacent to a park. So I think that's, you might keep focusing on Main Street as a place and all the details that go into the. But I think the other issue is traffic flow and are there other suitable locations of traffic and flow?
That's fair. Thank you.
So, so what you described is what we are doing. Some of us have done this for a while, close to Main Street, so. The city's forcing the farmer's market out of its spot, right? So we want to keep it, that's why it's going into the street. So we have to be careful because we're at the beach, right? We could get flooded. So the idea is, right, we're starting small, we have to do all the tracking, we're gonna track traffic to see if, just concerns are real or not. We look at noise, right, because there's always neighbors that, have opinions about what takes place that don't always agree with those of us that are putting on the events. So then over time, we're just gonna try to go either down the street or up the street, right, to the other side of Ocean Park, because the other side of Ocean Park really needs help. So it's just a matter of time till we figure out how to do that. So anything you can do to help us, please help us. You're just a neighborhood ordinance looking for ideas and so, the idea behind it is to start off as a family type of organization. Because that was kind of what happened before COVID, right? When my kids were little, that was really what it was. So that's the whole idea behind it. We're also tied into the easy zone. So the whole thing was, put together as one. So that means we can serve alcohol in a controlled area. So the idea is to try to pull that in too, and then to be able to extend the event, when the farmer's market closes at 1 o'clock, to give people the reason to come back again for economic development. Now, there was the question of the barriers, which is a really serious question, and what I'm gonna try to do for my own lobbying efforts, because I know so many people in the city, is to have the city buy them, right? And then we can just tell the city we want them. In order to do that, I just have to figure out the right way to position it with them, because it would be nice to close Montana for the art hall, and the police are gonna have the same requirements, right? It'd be nice to close, Main Street between Pico and the parking structure and activate Townville Park. We need those barriers. And those barriers are something new. They just, when we started talking about this, like, we want a new barrier. That's what the police said. So we're kind of stuck. So we're working through that. John?
I was on a call with.
You asked me if there was
Sorry,
any
Mitch,
suggestions,
please.
and I said, the main issue is not closing the streets and look for other alternatives.
Let's hear from Sean.
Thank you, Judy. With regards to the barriers, the city knows this is an issue and they're looking to purchase a lot more barriers and they're not, I don't know if you were on the call with Peter or James when he talked about this. They're not looking to push this out to us anymore. They recognize they need a critical number of barriers and they're gonna purchase it and try to make it available either on a rental basis or whatever for various events.
Yeah, yep, and the only reason I brought up the financial, oh, sorry, I cut you off. Okay, the only reason I brought up the financial support is that we have these organizations that are coming together and they don't really know how they're all working together. So for instance, the EZ that John was referencing, security needs to be part of that, as well as putting out these signs that say where the EZ starts and ends. So you have to pay labor, they rent a truck, they spend money. There's that piece. Then you got the farmer's market that's like running all these electric lines that they're not used to running. And trying to make their experience a good one seems important to get them to say like, okay, maybe this is a good idea. And then finally, there's this component of the entertainment, which I think will be kind of fun in the afternoon, where I think Peter's probably just gonna say, I'm gonna write this one off and hope it becomes an event. So anyway, that's what I was referencing. We don't need to make a decision today. We'll have the meeting tomorrow and, like if there is a need. If anybody has any strong opinion that they would want to support that or not support it, you could talk now or, email. Go ahead. I was asking the
Are you
board.
still talking about closing off the streets for entertainment and a farmer's market, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, same topic.
I say, I'm trying to, since you asked me, I repeat it.
We got it.
Don't close off the streets and look for alternatives where you can still do what you want to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I want traffic to flow.
All right, that's great. All right, so that's Main Street topics. I'll be in touch if anything comes up from a funding need. Okay, other committees. Ian has something.
It's funny that people may remember some time ago was talking about entering some kind of arrangement with Rose Stage where we get maybe discount tickets or some other things we haven't been go with it. And I just wanted to get some sense of the group as to how people feel about doing something with the Rose Stage. Where when we get maybe discounted tickets, but where maybe the OPA would have to commit to at least buying, I'm just going to pick a number, 15 tickets, which I don't think we have trouble with. But let me know what you think. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Oh, Robbie, I need to let the board know that Dave and I will not be here in September.
Okay.
And whoever wants to bring the food. Whatever you want to bring.
I can bring the food. I feel like I'm indebted because I've been in production jail. So I'm happy to cover for you, Patty.
Yay, Kelly.
It's my last week of filming, guys. I'm coming back.
Thank you, Kelly. Go ahead.
Do we want to do we talked about the last meeting about doing another mixer.
Yep.
When you were on Zoom, talked about maybe doing something at the park.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, whatever the board wants and members want to do, as opposed to like, Lula, which is also a great location, but again, I just wanted to throw it out there to see what we want to do for another fall mixer. Happy hour.
Yeah, we have the picnics at Hotchkiss Park. We have 2 more. Then the next one is August 20th, then it's September 3rd. So if we want to
combine forces on one of those.
Okay.
We could do that. Not to add to the noise commentary, but Dave, I know we were talking about maybe having music one time, if you want to. Something to discuss, but up to you, is that the right time of the year that you were thinking?
Oh, the only thing is that they, do it after, usually we do it midweek. We don't have to, usually do it Wednesday or Thursday.
We're on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday, okay, right, that's right. But then as we get into the fall, it'll be dark by,
Yeah.
Well, September.
September's fine.
Yeah, they've been well lit, 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
So
Maybe Tess and Tony should talk whether it makes more sense to combine the September one or pick it up 2 or 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
October's also good month to do something.
I'm also happy to throw our hat in the ring to it. It might need to get a little approval, but we have an awesome event space, so we're trying to get more local people in the house, so that could be something we could discuss. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Appreciate it, man. Okay, good idea, yeah.
Do we want to talk about someone stepping up to sort of be in charge of business memberships?
That's a great idea, yeah. You wanna talk a little bit about that, Sean?
Sure. So we obviously have a good number of business memberships at this point. I think it's like pushing 20. We're always looking for more because like that's gonna help long-term funding, and we don't go to people one individual member at a time. But also we need someone to sort of like help make sure the businesses are getting value in return for their support of us. Neither Roger or I have time to sort of ping everyone at least once a month or whatever to say, hey, Super Bloom, or hey, whomever, Gerber Kawasaki, want to remind you that you have once a month access to publish something in the newsletter, or what are you looking to highlight, or what's going on? Well, want this to be a give and take that it's good for them and good for us. And so we're hoping a board member is interested in sort of being sort of the primary liaison to the various business members, to just check in on the regular and try and recruit more. I know Mary Birch had expressed some interest in doing more with businesses. She's not here today, so I can't throw her hat into that ring. But if there's anyone else that is interested in it, Robbie and I would love to chat with you about it.
You can think about it, but it would be like it would be probably a role if you wanted to make it that, right? Like where literally there's a lot that these businesses are doing and that we can do for them. And so hopefully it's a way to just continue building those relationships.
happy to figure out some version of that. I think we need to do that, but keeps going to the bottom of this list. I think there's more ways to approach
You
it.
let me keep wild apricot, I'll do it.
I think Tess was offering to.
Ideally, we want to have people that are board members that are not already doing more than almost anybody in the community, stepping up to take out more work.
Maybe Mary could get the newbies, and I can work on ones that have already committed.
Well, happy to talk about it.
You know what?
Cool.
Beehive could be just for business.
We love the bees. We love the bees. All right. So we do need to take a minute though and talk a little bit about the crazy month of events. So state of the city. Does anyone want to give that kind of recap as to how the OPA booth went? Don't jump all at once. Here we go.
We need more people to go to those events and be in the booth.
Okay.
Patty and Dave and I are always there, but we need more people.
Yes, we do. And we need people who will stay for a little while and give us a chance. We were at National Night Out, the three of us, and of course, Jerry was with us. And we didn't get a chance to really get up and walk around and see what was going on because we were there for 4 hours. Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to ask if everybody could volunteer to take like an hour, so you guys can take shifts.
Well, that would be lovely.
I mean, yes,
We do.
it's a good idea.
There are not that many people who are
coming and assisting here.
Yeah, and people are doing it when they can. I know people are busy, but yes, please continue to go ahead.
No, we were supposed to take a shift at night out and I had a little issue I had to deal with.
Oh, dang.
Two.
You all right?
Yeah, anyway, so I left way earlier than I had intended.
And that'll happen.
How do we know when we need?
Yeah, there's a list. There, I don't have a pen, do I? We should make sure that we get your email is probably the
I will the
right.
newsletter, but I just don't know in advance. If good to see you.
There's an engaged members list. So what that list was, I think there was a question when I sent an email out to the group. The engaged list is those people who have volunteered that aren't board members before. Or do you just want to send an email to me?
Sure.
It's RLEER1 @gmail. Then the number 1 @gmail. And so Dave, I think you were asking the question about the engaged list. That's a group of like 20 people who have volunteered before. And so we were just trying to get more folks involved. We were trying to do exactly what Judy was talking about, you know what I mean? So I think that's what that was. Any other notes on the events? Yeah, that's okay. We're all good. Events in the future, yeah. Dave, we have one more beach cleanup this summer.
Yes.
What's the 28th? I can see it from there.
It's the 30th here.
Okay,
It's 30th.
are we here?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. Last one of the year, be nice to see some board members show up. We had very small came to the last one,
Yeah.
councilman.
That's awesome.
You see me back. Anyway,
Okay,
we do.
that's that one. Are there any other events on our radar? I know we've got, right, October's coming for the Day of the Dog.
That's October 18th.
Okay. Anything?
October 18th.
October 18th. Very okay.
Yep.
We're gonna try to do the ballots.
We're working the elections.
We're gonna work the elections again.
Cool.
Cause
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
You don't see you there, we see you're in our district, we're gonna
We
have a lot.
So,
That is true.
so Tony, your idea about having a happy hour in September around there
Either
could be great.
doing it in October is fine too, remember?
Yeah.
How about Halloween?
You know, I
Sure.
say something, I think we have to mix it up a little, because happy hour is basically the same people coming in, sitting by the same friends, and not really interacting, so I've been to everyone, they're not really interacting with anyone new.
Okay.
Okay.
But if we had something like what you might want to put together in a whole different thing. Of course.
That's
That would be,
good idea.
there are people with a little music.
It's very low level, you don't have to have anything.
No,
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah, or that's what's so easy, is we just have a blanket, we have name tags. And there's little stickers, if you've been to an Ocean Park Social Club event, then you get one color, if you haven't, then you get a different color, so people know to welcome you to the events. And perhaps if you were a part of the Ocean Park Association, you've got another sticker. We're also looking for more members, you know, it's a good. Although you are of course manning booths, so there's many people that you can talk to, but it might be a nice place for people who are clearly already eager to participate. To give them the pitch about how else to get involved in the neighborhood. So there are a small group of eager folks who have been coming to our picnics that you may not have already met.
Well, I know that we're available on the 3rd. And if we can find some way to put it together really quick.
Yeah. But it's super, it's already happening, you just have to say you're coming.
Love it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. Any other topics from the board that?
Just wanted to. If anybody who's interested in pursuing this idea of the stage, you never know, otherwise you never know who's interested in this.
Well, I've already into the bus station, I pay them every year. And.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a hard commitment to say, we're on the hook for Cancun road tickets.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's why I.
so, that's my gut reaction is, as the person who does the newsletter, I'm not gonna start shilling for the road to say, we need people to buy tickets because no one committed to it. I think it's gonna be a hard sell.
No, that's why I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Great. Go ahead, Dave.
Are we gonna do a Christmas party?
Ready, grease on there?
Do we do?
That was every year, Dave.
Where do you do
We do it wherever we can.
it? Right.
It's the costume.
I'll tell you, it won't be at the Victoria.
It's because the birthday's near.
Yeah, Hunter would be the guy to ask, right? We can find out if we're gonna pair it with the Santa.
Yeah, we'll wait for Main Street to figure out when they're doing the whole tree lighting thing and we'll tag on to that as
Yeah.
well. That's not gonna be until late September.
Yeah. Any other topics? Jeff, you got something?
No, he's just excited.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Motion, picture.
We're very close to that moment. I do think we have, you know what? Oh, good. The AI is on, we're good for notes. Did anybody take a look at last month's notes? Or has Andrew got to catch up with a couple notes when he comes back? I don't know that we sent him out. So I don't know. We'll wait till the next meeting to accept those. So without any other topics, I think we'll turn it over to Jeff.
Motion to adjourn.
No, I said it.
All in favor? All right. Have a great week, guys. Month.
I'm telling
Hey.
you. So.